Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, also known as Fiber Nymph, and today is the very last day of 2024, December 31st, New Year's Eve day, and I'm coming to you with one last episode for the year, as I really hoped I would. I didn't think it was going to be this late. I thought, oh, well, after my mom goes back home, I'll have time to record an episode. Well, she didn't go home till Sunday, and it's a very short period from Sunday till the new year because everything happened so late this year. So here we are, better late than never. I will give you a heads up. Number one, yes, the tree and the lights are in the picture this time. They don't seem to be doing the weird woo thing, so hopefully that won't become an issue. If it does, I'll try to move. Number two, I do have a fire in the fireplace, so if you occasionally hear popping, loud popping noises, that's what that is. I often forget to mention that, but that is the case today. Anyway, hello, how are you? How has your December been? Let's see, it's been at least a couple of weeks since I talked to you, probably. I think it was like, what, the 14th, maybe somewhere mid-month. I hope you've had a really lovely holiday season if you celebrate. And you're continuing to celebrate because obviously it's New Year's, so we're still in that phase. And yeah, I hope it's been good. I hope it's been whatever you have needed it to be. It's been quite lovely and mostly quiet and calm here for us, which is exactly what I needed it to be this year. And I will talk a little bit more about that and about my mom and her husband being here and what we got up to. So we'll get into that as the episode progresses. I need to take a sip. Okay, it's cooled down a little bit. Aren't these cups cute? My mom, when she was up here last summer, she brought with her 2 boxes of Christmas dishes that she purchased from a yard sale in her neighborhood. Her neighbors were selling. She's like, I bought you Christmas dishes. I'm like, okay. I never felt like I really needed Christmas dishes, but they are really pretty. Just, I mean, they're not fine china, but they're just really cute. And so we did have them out. They're still out. I'll use them, you know, until we put the Christmas stuff away. But we hadn't used any of the cups yet because I have a lot of Christmas mugs and everything. So I thought, well, this would be perfect for tea because it's not too big. And thankfully, it's also not one of those ones that gets super hot to the touch in the microwave. That's never good. Anyway, just some of my orange ginger tea that I've been enjoying recently with honey in it. So, okay. Show notes will be in the description box below. I also post them in the Ravelry group and on my blog on the Fiber Nymph Dye Works website, so you'll find all of that information. There are links to project pages both on Ravelry and on my project blog, which is called My Favorite Day, so you can find those things there. If you have any questions about anything I talked about during this episode, feel free to leave a question, leave a comment here on YouTube, and I will definitely try to answer you. I think I'm caught up with everything from past episodes. I was trying to catch up with the Ravelry group chatter thread this morning before I started recording. I did get behind, but I've also been taking just a lot of away from technology time over the holidays, which has been so nice, actually just over the month of December in general. Okay, so anyway, what else is going on? Oh, there's a membership here on the YouTube channel if you're interested in that for a little bit of extra content every month. And I think that's everything you need to know at this point in time. And I'm going to pause because now my nose has decided it wants to run. So, okay. And I am not wearing any knitwear today. It was actually much warmer earlier in the house. Anyway, it's chilly outside and it just got done raining like crazy. But I was really warm, so I didn't put any knitwear on. I don't even have knit socks on. This is just a really soft, mass-produced sweater that I'm sure makes like kittens cry whenever you buy it, but it's really cozy. Anyway. And it's nice and light. I felt like it was really a good day to just have something bright on, to welcome in the new year. That's where I'm going with that this year. Okay, so I've got some shop announcements for you. My end of the year sale is happening right now. If you're on my newsletter list, you already probably know about it. If you haven't read your newsletter, check that out. But I have 2 coupon codes going right now. One is for in-stock items, and that is year-end 35. So you can get 35% off anything that is in stock in the shop. And I'm also doing a different coupon code for die-to-order items. I don't usually put die-to-order on sale, but because I'm going to be rotating some of my die-to-order colorways out, they're going to go into hibernation for a while, sometime in January. I wanted to just give you a last chance to grab some of those. So that coupon code is year-end DTO15. And I will have put those down here at the bottom of the screen. So you can go ahead and shop. You can use both of those coupon codes in the same order. Usually you can only use one coupon code per order, but those 2 will work together. So you can put, in stock and die-to-order things in the same order this time. The only thing that is not good on is gift certificates. And of course, coupon codes never apply to previously purchased items. It's just new orders. So that's going on right now. The colorways that are going to be rotating out of die to order are my Wild Atlantic collection. So that's Wild Atlantic Pie, Wild Atlantic Pub Vibes, and Wild Atlantic Wildflowers. Those 3 are going to be going away for a while. And then some of my pie colorways. Bright Spring Palette Pie, which I know it seems silly to be taking that colorway out in winter when spring's coming up, but it's been in there for quite some time and it's not been a huge seller. So I'm going to rotate that one out. I've got some other ones that I can pop that in later on. Okay, so that one's going out. Hallow Pie, Crystal Pie Light, and Crystal Pie Dark. Those ones are going to go bye-byes for a while. And also, while this isn't going to be going out right in January, I did want to give you the heads up that if you did want to get the Pigskin Party colorway for this season, that will be going out as soon as the Pigskin Party ends, which is February 10th. So a game for all seasons, that one will be gone. I don't know when it might come back. Anyway, those are going to rotate out. There will be other ones coming in, but I'm just trying to keep the die-to-order area of the shop sort of fresh. And my signature series colorways will remain in there. I don't have any plans to take those out. Those and my A Middle Earth Imagined colorways, which I feel like are signature colors for me. Me, maybe not my shop, but anyway. Those will still be in there. Okay. I have taken a lot of time off work this month and part of November. It's been so nice to have some downtime. I really, really needed it. I hadn't realized just how burned out I was until I started to take time away. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I really need to take care of myself more like that. That's going to be more of a theme for me, I think, in the coming year, actually. But I don't know why that's even in here as a note. Oh, because I was going to say, I do have new things coming that I'm working on for the new year. I'm going to be doing a collaboration project that you'll be hearing about soon. And I have some new products that I'm working on dyeing. And there will be a new club coming up. I will be announcing that in January as well. So those things are all coming up. But today, being the last day of the year, is also the last day of this year's Make-Along, the Project Pool Make-Along, which I will talk a little bit about the Make-Alongs later on. But I just wanted to remind you up front that today's your last day to finish up whatever project that you would like to be able to pop into the finished objects thread or on Instagram for this year for the prize drawings. I will announce the final prize winners for that make-along in the first episode of January. This one may not actually get published till January. I'm really going to try to get it out today, but in case it doesn't, this one doesn't count because I'm recording it before the end of December. But the 2025 Make-Along does start tomorrow. That's the Choose Your Own Adventure Make-Along. I have a little thing I can pop in the top here, either here, or I'll pop it in when I talk about it later. It won't let me put it both places, I don't think. But yeah, so that is coming up. I hope you'll take part. I'm really looking forward to that. And there's a chatter thread already set up in the Ravelry group for that. And we have the hashtag, which I will put down here because I never remember what it is correctly. And yeah, so we're all ready to go with that starting tomorrow. But I think that's enough announcements. Let's get on to the crafting. I have one final pair of these socks to show you. I did indeed finish them before Christmas. This is the Fairy Lights colorway by West Yorkshire Spinners, and I used the cayenne red for the heels and the toes. I made 3 pairs of these. I made a pair for my mom, I made a pair for Emma, and then this pair was mine. And it was so that we could all have matchy socks for Christmas. And I do have some fun pictures that I can pop in here for you to see. Trying to take pictures of your own feet with 2 other people's feet in any kind of fun way is difficult, but that's what we got. And the one that has the kitty litter box in the background is because Emma had her kitten up here with her that day. Lilith was here, so, and Lilith is just adorable. And so of course I put out a litter box in the middle of the living room for my grandkitty. Would you do any different? I don't know. Anyway, so these socks are done. I will tell you, it was a slog to get through this final pair, especially knowing that they were for me. And the second sock, I did mess up a couple of times. And it feels like the cuff of the second sock is just a wee bit shorter, like by a row or 2. I didn't care by the point that I realized that. I mean, it looks the same, but it feels a little different. And then the other thing that I goofed was on the length. Maybe that was the first sock. I think that was actually the first sock. Because the last time I showed you, I said, oh, I'm about 1 inch away from putting in the toe. And so I did that extra inch and I put the toe in and I tried it on. It's like, this is too short. So I had to tear the toe out and rip back and start knitting a little bit more. And I did end up adding a good bit. I feel like this yarn is not quite as stretchy as other yarn. I don't know if it's because it's a little bit toothier. I mean, it is a washable, machine washable yarn, but it does feel like it grips a little bit more. So maybe that was why. I'm hoping that my mom's pair and Emma's pair will be okay once they wash them. I did not end up blocking them before I gave them to them. I went back and forth on that, but by the time I was done with these, I'm like, I'm just done. I'm done with these. I'm wrapping theirs up and they're just getting them as is. So, but we did all wear them and it was kind of fun. So there's that. Finished, my final finished pair of socks for this year. What else? Oh, things I started and finished. Now, since I talked to you last, this is gonna be a little odd. So I had this little pumpkin. I know, it's a Christmas pumpkin. I bought him like back before Halloween, and he just kind of sat right there on top of my piano, kind of where that little snowman candle thing is. Sat there all through November, all through December, and then, you know, I had all the Christmas decorations out, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this pumpkin? I really hadn't expected him to last this long because usually they start to get a little funny and get rotty or whatever, but he didn't. He was just perfectly happy. And so I believe it was maybe Christmas Eve morning. It was either Christmas Eve morning or the morning right before Christmas Eve. I decided to remedy that by making him a hat. So he did become a Christmas pumpkin. Isn't he cute? Complete with the little tassel, because who doesn't love a tassel, right? So had him sitting here looking all festive in his spiffy little hat with his tassel. And then I started looking around. I'm like, what else can I turn into a Christmas decoration by making it a hat? Well, oh, he's rolling over. That would be great if I actually dropped him and he splattered. Yikes. There's this guy. Yes, this is another Halloween decoration. This cat, if you've been here before, you hear me say fairly regularly, it's Halloween in my heart all year long. So I bought this cheapy little Halloween cat several years ago now, and I just leave him out all year. He moves around. I put him different places from time to time, but he was sitting up above our stove, above the cabinets, and I thought he could use a hat, and so he got a hat and instantly became the Icelandic Yule cat. So we've had him. So he's been hanging around. He did not eat anybody because everybody got new socks, right? The Yule cat only eats you if you haven't gotten new clothes for Christmas or for Yule. I don't remember. Yule, I guess it would make more sense. Anyway, so we have our Yule cat and we have our Christmas pumpkin. And then I looked around and I'm like, Mr. Bill needs a new hat. I didn't bring it over, but he actually was wearing a little knit hat that I made several years ago. I think it was part of a challenge for, it was one of the Down Cellar Studio events, either the Splash Pad party or the Pigskin party. And I knit this little tiny hat and it was meant to go on an egg. I don't remember what the challenge actually was, but after I took it off the egg for the picture, I put it on him and it fit him great. And so I thought, you know what, he needs a Christmas hat because that hat was very old and dusty. So he has one. I did a slightly different tape, like I did the decreases differently on his, so he looks a little bit more like an acorn or something. But he's still cute, right? Matches his red shirt. Yeah, so we've got all these little guys. And then I decided I needed to stop because I was going to go down a rabbit hole that I did not need to go down that close to Christmas by knitting all these hats. Now, the yarn, well, first of all, I had no pattern for any of these hats. I just winged it. I've made enough patterns or hats in my life. I just sort of, you know, faked it, and it was fine. Mr. Bill's hat could have used a couple more stitches to fit a little better, but it's fine. Anyway, this yarn is not yarn that I typically use, but I purchased it specifically for a different project. Oh, the lights are doing the weird thing. I'm sorry. Is that gonna bother? Why is it doing that only when I move? Oh, maybe the camera is just picking up the red. Okay, I'll try not to move. Anyway, there was a pattern by Fiberflex, the crochet channel on YouTube that I talk about a lot. She had put out a pattern for these curly candy canes, which I will try to remember to put a picture of in here. And so I thought, oh my gosh, those are so cute. And so then I was at Walmart one day and I saw this red yarn that's got the metallic in it. So this is Red Heart Super Saver metallic in just red. They did not have the white. The white was all gone, but this Mainstays white is basically the same weight. It's like worsted weight. It's a little heavier than the metallic actually, but it worked fine and it just doesn't have sparkle in it. Anyway, so I bought these to make the candy canes. And then I came home and that night I did crochet 2 curly cues in each color. So that would have been 2 candy canes. And then I never finished them. I never put them together because it involved like having to put a wire through it and glue it and stitch things together. And I just like, I didn't have that kind of energy. So maybe I'll finish them before I put all my Christmas stuff away so that I'll have them for next year's decorating. Or maybe I'll just put them away unfinished and finish them next year. Who knows? But anyway, I had the yarn and I thought, what better thing to do with it than make these wonderful little hats. So that is what I did. Yeah, I mean, I love my pumpkin. He's so cute. Okay, so that was the only other thing that I knit this whole entire holiday season. That was it. I did work on my spinning. I'm not finished with my holiday countdown spinning. I am up to day, I think I'm actually ready to start incorporating day 24 in the singles for the second bobbin. I did spin off and on through the holidays. I just didn't spin regularly, and I didn't spin a lot earlier in the month. I knew I wouldn't in December. That's why I started it early. But yeah, I'm getting there close, and I don't have a need to have it done now. I thought it would be nice to at least have the singles done by the end of the year. And I guess that could happen if I spin a lot today. Maybe it will. Maybe I'll spin while I'm editing the podcast. We'll see. Anyway, that's still going. I will put a picture in here of what it looks like right at this moment. But yeah, so there was spinning, and then the only other craft that I worked on over the holidays was cross stitch. I mentioned it to you. I think maybe I put, ouch, there's a pin that just stuck me. I think I put a picture in the last episode showing you what the finished one would look like. My mom usually brings cross stitch with her to work on, and it was funny because this year she got up here and she's like, I totally forgot to bring my cross stitch. And I'm like, I said, it's okay. We'll set you up with some. And then I progressed to look through all of my crafting stuff and could not find any like light colored Aida cloth at all. I had linen, I had other stuff, but I did not have white Aida. So when I went to do a shopping trip at Walmart, I did buy her some white Aida that they had. It was a very, very stiff Aida cloth. It was a DMC Aida 14 count, but it was, I don't know if it's starched or something. I've never seen Aida cloth that stiff. And it was actually really hard to get in the hoop because it was like that. So I don't know, but it gave her something to work on. And then we just downloaded a pattern off of Etsy. She was doing a cute little cardinal, and I had enough floss here to give her that she could do that. So I'm going to actually take mine out of the hoop at the moment because you won't be able to see everything. I hope the lights aren't, they're flashing on and off, but they're not really flickering. I don't know why they're doing that. Like, I haven't noticed them do that in person. And like, okay. Yeah, like they're not doing it in person. It's on the camera. It's weird. Okay. Anyway, here's how far I am. Check it out. I am so happy with this. So I had already started the moon a little bit way back at like the beginning of December when I was getting this set up. But then I didn't work on it anymore. So I finished the moon, and then I finished both of these little flower things. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. And then last night I just got my moth started. So the moth is like the big centerpiece of this picture. I'll put the picture back in here again just so you can see what it's going to look like. But yeah, this is how far I got, and I'm actually very pleased with the progress that I have made. I've made a couple little mistakes where I've had to sort of wing it and, you know, fudge things, but nothing that you're ever going to be able to tell once it's done. I would say the biggest issues I'm having with this, the black Aida cloth is just a killer. Like, without perfect light, and it would probably help maybe if I was wearing magnifier glasses. I don't have any. I mean, I have cheaters, but that's for if I have my contacts in, and I don't usually have my contacts in when I'm just at home. So yeah, the black Aida is hard. I do have a headlamp that I wear, my little camping headlamp that I wear, and that sometimes helps. What I have found that does help, I believe one of our, I think it was maybe Pam, one from our group, she recommended maybe putting a piece of white paper underneath where I'm working. That does actually help. It's more helpful sometimes than others, but depending on like the whole lighting situation, but it has been helping. The other thing I thought was, I have a light box, you know, like for drawing. I wonder if I had that out and like was working over top of that, but that might be a little cumbersome. Anyway, it's going fine though. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm happy with how fast I'm getting it done. Actually, we'll see how fast I get the moth done, because the moth is so many different little colors in really little areas. And while like the moon and these things, I did work one color at a time and just did the counting to get to the next place. I'm not going to do that with the moth because I think it'll get too messed up, because I've realized my issue with counted cross stitch is the counting. I don't always do that super accurately. So I'm going to just work and fill things in as I go. That's my plan. I'll just have a bunch of different needles going. I did have a needle minder, you know, one of those magnetic things, but I sent it home with my mom. She's got that. So I ordered a couple more from Etsy. And I also ordered a pattern holder, like one of those ones that folds up and like that, so that it can hold my pattern, because right now I'm working with my pattern in this, it's like it's the cellophane things that I pack yarn in when I mail yarn to you. That's what it is. I wanted to keep it nice, but it's a little hard to see sometimes because you see there's a riff. Oh, I'm showing you the whole friggin' chart. Sorry, you're not going to be able to do this off this chart in the camera. Anyway, I'll put that on there. It's a little bit difficult, and because this is my white thing that I'm putting on my lap to get that light from underneath, and it's in this slippery thing, it falls off my lap all the time, and then it's like... So the other thing with this, I have this really nice, and I don't know if you can see it. Is it there? Oh no, I put it back out there. My stand, my hoop holder that Bill got me for Christmas last year. I like using that, but it's really hard to use on a project where you're only doing a few stitches, and then you have to, like, you know, weave your tail through and catch your tail, and when you're starting and everything. I have a really hard time doing that while it's in the holder, so I'm constantly taking it off, in the holder, out of the holder, in the holder, out of the holder, and it's just easier to hold the hoop at that point. So if you have any recommendations on how that might be done easier, I was thinking if the head of it rotated, and there's probably like more expensive ones out there that have that kind of a mechanism. I don't know if I could retrofit something like that to that holder or not. I don't know. If you have any ideas, let me know. But if not, it's fine too, because I don't have a problem just holding it. Okay, so cross stitch. That's it. That's all I've worked on since the last time I talked to you. I did not do anything with my Indie Swap Advent yarn. I didn't even bring it out to show you the rest of it. I did open the rest of them. Matter of fact, I think I ended up opening like the last 4 or 6 days, like just all at one time, because I was trying to clean and I needed to get stuff off the table. So I just did that. And they're very pretty colors, and I will do something with it eventually. I just haven't decided what or when. And I'm not really feeling like starting any new projects right now. I think I'm probably getting ahead of myself a little bit, but yeah, I don't have any plans for any active projects. I do want to get back to working on that, what was it? The coffee bean cardigan that I was working on. I stopped at the point where I need to divide for the arms. And I'm detecting a trend with me and bottom-up sweaters, that they're maybe not the best thing for me, because once I get to that point where I need to divide, I get stuck and I kind of stop. That's where I stopped on that crocheted top that I was making this summer, too. It was where I had to divide for the arms. And it's not even like a big deal. I don't know why it's stopping me. I think with this sweater, it was because I was debating whether or not to soak it, like to put it on a barber cord and then soak it to make sure it was long enough. I don't know. I will get it back out and work on it hopefully soon-ish, but like it just hasn't been calling to me. I don't even have a sock actively on the needles right now. Now I know I probably got like a few socks in my languishing whips bin that I could pull out and work on, and I may do that. But you know, I've been pigskin party mode, and like whips don't count for that, so that's sort of holding me back, although I don't know why. I've got a lot of fun yarns though. I could just pull something else out and make myself some socks, or I could make myself some mismatched shorty socks. I kind of need to refurbish my mismatched shorty socks supply, because the ones, if you were around, I don't know, gosh, probably 5 years ago now maybe, I made a bunch, and I wear them all the time and they're really looking shabby. So maybe I'll do that because I do have a lot of large quantity leftovers from socks that I've made, like self-striping leftovers. So we'll see. I'm not pressing myself to start anything. I'm really enjoying this cross stitch. Really enjoying that. And so I kind of want to just work on that. And I want to finish that spinning. You know, I want to finish the singles, and then I'm going to do the chain ply. So that'll take me a little bit of time. So I think that's enough for me right now. I'm not at a point where I'm even making crafting plans for 2025, which since my make along that I'm sponsoring starts tomorrow, you might think that maybe you should do that. But part of that is you are choosing your own adventure. And my adventure right now is to just take my time and not over plan myself and then not stick with it. I do want to go into my project pool list and see how that shook out. I will probably add those last couple of projects to it retroactively, just because they were big projects that I did. And I know that might seem silly, but I'm one of those people who that helps. Like, it helps me to see that I did do things even if they weren't originally on the list. And that's totally allowable within the rules of that make along. So anyway, but we'll see where I ended up on that. I feel really pretty good about what I did in the make along last year. I did a lot of stuff with scraps and leftovers and stash. And I did make projects that I specifically wanted to make too. So I feel like that's a win. But I just don't have a real clear feel for what I want to do in the coming year. And I'm not going to push it. It'll come. I have ideas, but nothing that I'm willing to commit to quite yet. So I'm sure you'll hear more about that as time progresses in January. I think a lot of it stems from my overarching theme that I keep coming back to lately is self-care, taking care of myself. And like I said, I didn't realize quite how burned out I was from working until I stopped, and I hadn't been working like that for a few weeks. And then it was like, wow, like what is this feeling I have of not stress? Like, what is that? It feels so weird. That's not healthy, friends. So yeah, I know myself well enough to know that I'm really good at over planning. I love to plan. But I also know it's not healthy whenever I over plan and then try to like still do the stuff. So just taking it easy. If you have crafting plans for 2025, I'd love to hear what they are. Whether it's a part of our 2025 make along or not, I'd just love to know what you're going to be doing. Speaking of the make along, as I said, today is the very last day for the 2024 project pool make along. So I will have the finished object thread. It'll still be there. So as long as you've finished your project by today, and I mean, at this point, like if it's just the knitting, like the knitting or the crocheting, even if you have like a little bit of grafting or some buttons to put on or whatever, that part doesn't have to be done by today. Just as long as you've got like the actual knitting part done, we'll call that a win for 2024. And you can go ahead and put it in the finished objects thread or hashtag it on Instagram and it'll still count. Again, I will announce the final prize winners in the first January episode that I record. And the 2025 MAL, the Choose Your Own Adventure MAL, officially starts tomorrow. That thread is already up in the Ravelry group if you want to take part in chatter there. I really would encourage that. Our chatter threads are always so nice. It's such a nice community, and that's why I do these make-alongs to begin with, is for the community building aspect of it. I did finally catch up with all the messages in there today. Again, I apologize because I really did sort of stay away from the computer a lot this month, other than what I needed to do for actual work. So yeah, I'll try to be better come January with that that thread. But anyway, it's there. And again, if I didn't link it already, I'll put the link up above for the introduction video into the Choose Your Own Adventure Make Along. I hope you'll join in whatever way feels comfortable to you. It's a very low stress make along. It will have a Fiber Nymph Dye Works yarn and fiber component this year though. That's completely optional. But if you do want the chance to kind of earn yourself some extra yarn, I will be doing an exclusive colorway at the end of the year for anyone who used 800, is it 800 grams? I think that's what the criteria was, 800 grams of my yarn or fiber in their projects in 2025. So again, that'll all be linked. You can read those guidelines both on my blog and on Ravelry, and you can participate through the Ravelry group or through Instagram. Other than that, life stuff. Our holidays were very nice. My mom and her husband Roy came up. They were here for a week. I had purposely planned to not have to work while they were here. As it turned out, I had one day that I did have to do some dyeing because it was something that I definitely needed to ship out before the end of the year, and it just went in the mail today, actually. But that was it. Like, I did not work at all other than answering like emails. And it was so nice because usually when my mom's here, I do have to work. And so again, that's another one of those just trying to set limits for myself and stick with them. It was lovely. Yeah, they were here, and as we always do, we played a lot of games. What did we play? We played a lot of Quirkle. My mom brought a card game called 5 Crowns, which I had played with her at her house back in February, last February when I was down there, but she brought that with her, and so we all played that several times. That was a lot of fun. It's a different game. I had never heard of it before, February when I was there. So we did that. Chris had brought up a game called What Do You Meme? It was the family edition. I'm assuming that means there must be a not safe for family edition. I don't know, but we had fun with that. We played that the one night he was up here. Emma had, and she brought this and left it, this game, P for Pizza. This was so much fun. Oh my goodness. It took my mom and Roy a little while to catch on to it. But yeah, it's really cute. You get these cards, so like there's a stack of these triangles. Here, I'll show you. Why not? This isn't all of them, but basically there's this stack of these triangular shaped cards and it sits in the middle of the table. So you have 3 different categories, and then there's, on the other side, there's letters. So they're set up so that there's one on either of those sides. And so you have to try to be the first person to say, like, okay, sinks in water, H, horse, a horse swims. You could just say heavy object and that would be fine. Like, we were very loose with what we said. Anyway, so if you said that, then you got that letter or that card, and then the top one gets flipped over, or no. Yeah. The top one gets flipped over. Anyway, hopefully you're getting what I'm saying because I'm saying it badly. But anyway, we had a lot of fun with this. And there's a certain way that you have to earn the cards, easy, medium, hard. It was fun. So we played that. What else did we play? We played 500. We like playing cards. We played Rummy Cube. And we played Uno. And we played... Yahtzee. So we were playing like all these games that like were games from my childhood, and some of them literally are the sets that I had as a kid, so they're so old and beat up. And then of course we had like arguments over rules because everybody plays things like, especially Rummy Cub or Rummy K. Ours is called Rummy K. Everybody has like a different set of rules for that. So then I'm reading the box. It's like, this is what the box says. These are going to be the house rules. Anyway, we did that. And basically we just hung out and we had fun and it was just so nice. We did not, the only place we went in the whole week is we went out to, we took my mom and Roy so that they could visit Emma's apartment because they hadn't been there since right after she got the apartment. So we got to see her apartment all Christmasified. And then we all went out to dinner, which was very nice. But yeah, that was about it. And then they left on Sunday. And we did our solstice dinner. I did cook my big solstice meal. I didn't get to do it on the solstice. I did it on Monday after they got here. So it was a couple days late, but it was still really nice. So we had our solstice dinner and then we had Christmas dinner, and I did a lot of cooking for both of those meals. And then I basically just did not cook the entire rest of the time we were here. They were here. We had a lot of leftovers and a lot of like snacky foods. And I only mention this because I learned very late in life that not every family plans their holidays around food. Like food is not necessarily a major component of family get-togethers. I learned this when I was visiting a girlfriend one time. I was probably in my, 30s, early 30s. And she was like, oh, yeah, my mom and I were talking today about our family picnic that's coming up. And I'm like, oh, family picnic. Oh, that's so cool. What are you guys going to eat? Like, what the food are you going to have? And she looked at me like I was crazy. She's like, oh, I don't know. Everybody just brings something. We don't really plan that. I'm like, what? Because it didn't matter what the family gathering was in my family. You always had a menu planned and there was going to be cooking done. And apparently I can't shake that. One thing I did not do this year is I did not bake one cookie. This is probably the first time in my entire adult life that I did not bake at all for the holidays. Not one cookie, not one cake. I was going to try to make a gluten-free gingerbread cake. I did bake pie. I made an apple pie with a gluten-free pie crust, and that worked out okay. But that was it. My mom brought cookies. Emma made some cookies, including some gluten-free pumpkin chocolate chip cookies for me. They were very good. Yeah, that was it. It was so weird. Again, just so weird not baking, not having any knitting projects on my needles right now. What is going on with me? Oh, wow, it's getting very, very dark all of a sudden. Like we're gonna have major rain here any minute. So sorry, I'll sit closer to the weird tree. Does that help? I don't know. I'm almost done. Anyway, today is New Year's Eve. Bill and I are not going anywhere. Nobody's coming over. It's just the two of us. Have no idea what we're having for dinner. So apparently that whole food planning thing does not carry over to just us. And then same tomorrow. It's just him and I. So we will be staying up till midnight tonight, not because we have to watch the ball drop or anything, although we will be watching Andy and Anderson because they're always funny. But because the motorcycle event that we go to every July called Soggy Bottom, the tickets for that go on sale exactly at midnight on New Year's Day. So we will be up at midnight so that Bill can get on there and buy our Soggy Bottom tickets. And anyway, just like I said, for my crafting for next year, I'm not making really any resolutions or intentions or anything, just even for general life. This year, I'm just going to ease into the new year with the focus of self-care and trying to keep things balanced. I was really happy that last night was the dark moon, so we're going into a whole new moon cycle as we enter into the new year, and that always feels very very cleansing and like a really nice transition anytime there's a new moon cycle, but like when it's happening right now at the start of a new year, I think that's extra special. So I'm really happy about that. I'm hoping to have a little bit of quiet time later on where I can sit and journal a little bit, have candle lit, do a little bit of maybe an oracle pull or something, just to get my intentions down, at least just for the beginning of the new year, not the whole year. That's a lot to ask. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble now. I hope you have a lovely New Year's Eve tonight. Be safe. and a beautiful start to your new year. I will see you again in early January at some point, and I will look forward to any comments or questions that you want to leave in the comments area of the YouTube video. And if you are a member of the YouTube channel, I want to just thank you so much for being a member and supporting my channel in that way. It means so much to me, and I really, really appreciate you. So anyway, that's it. Have a lovely rest of your day and a wonderful start to your new year, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.